Good morning everyone. In last session we discussed about response body, right? Today's session we are going to talk about form based applications using Spring MVC. How to develop form based applications using Spring MVC we are going to discuss. Right. Let's quickly revise what we have discussed about response body in the last session. So what we discussed about response body in the last session, by default controller return value will be considered as logical view name. By default controller return value will be considered as logical view name. Controller method will be called by dispatcher servlet. Controller method will be called by dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet will understand controller return value as a logical view name by default. But in some situations, I have to return the logical view name. In some situations, I want to return the raw response directly. So in some situations, we have to return raw response from controller method directly, like for Ajax calls. I want to return some raw response directly. To return raw response from controller method, we will use at response body. To return raw response from the controller method, we will use at response body annotation. So if I use at response body annotation, my dispatcher servlet will understand this is not the view, so no need to use the view resolver. So it is going to use as a raw response and will send the raw response back to the client directly. Are you able to follow this? Now, what is the example for that? Public string say hi. Public string say hi. Now I am going to return hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? This is my message. So now this one I am binding to @get mapping /hi. So what dispatcher servlet will think when it calls this controller method? It thinks that it is returning a string. That string is a logical view name. But programmer knows that this is not a logical view name. This is a raw response. But dispatcher servlet don't know that this is a raw response. How can I inform to the dispatcher servlet this is a raw response? By using one annotation called at response body. I can use this annotation at the method level, or I can use this annotation before the return value of the method, so that dispatcher servlet will understand this method is returning the raw response instead of the logical view name. Right. More about this we will understand in the RESTful services, because the REST controller method return value by default raw response. Controller method default return value is logical view name. Whenever you specify a controller class with response body annotation in the method, if a controller component contains a method with at response body annotation, that is equal to REST controller functionality. Are you guys able to follow this? At controller plus at response body is equal to at REST controller. Earlier, the REST controller was not available. In the later versions of the Spring framework, they released the REST controller. Earlier also, people used to develop the REST API by using controller plus response body. Then Spring realized, why to use two annotations? Why don't we provide one annotation for that? That's where REST controller annotation came into the market. We'll talk about this REST controller in the RESTful services. Right, let's move on. Now, so today we are going to talk about form based applications. form based applications, right? So in our daily life, we will use several web applications. In our daily life we will use several web applications like Gmail, Facebook, IRCTC, net banking sites, etc. In every web application, in every web application, forms will be available. In every web application, forms will be available. Example: registration form, login form, forgot password, ticket book ticket form, book ticket, etc. So in every web application, forms will be available like a registration form, login form, forgot password form, book ticket form, etc. So here we need to understand as a programmer how we can develop those form based applications by using Spring MVC. How to develop form based applications by using Spring MVC we need to understand. Using Spring MVC also we can develop form based applications. Using Spring MVC also we can develop form based applications. Spring MVC supports for below presentation technologies. Spring MVC supports for below presentation technologies. Here we can use JSP as a presentation technology, and we can use TimeLeaf also as a presentation technology. Spring MVC also supports for form based applications development. So in the Spring MVC we can use JSP as a presentation technology, or we can use TimeLeaf also as a presentation technology. That means I can develop a form by using a JSP, and I can develop a form by using TimeLeaf also. Here we are going to learn both. Few forms I will develop, one or two forms I will develop by using JSP, then I will develop one application by using TimeLeaf as well. Are you able to follow this? We can develop form based applications by using JSP, as well as we can develop form based applications by using TimeLeaf also. Right. Now inside this JSP I will create first a HTML form. Later point of time I will develop by using form tag library. To simplify forms development, Spring MVC provided form tag library. This is custom tag library developed by Spring. Custom tag library developed by Spring MVC, Spring Framework. So generally forms we can develop by using HTML tags also. But what this Spring Framework people thought, so let us simplify forms development for the Spring programmers. So that's why they provided one tag library which is called Spring Form Tag Library. So to understand form tag library in the better way, first let us develop one form without using form tag library, then we will develop a application by using form tag library. Now first I will develop one application without using form tag library, then we will see what are the challenges. How to capture the form data, how to submit the form, how to capture the form data, how to prevent the double posting problem, how to handle the exceptions, everything we are going to understand here. Are you able to follow this? Right, let's move on. Now form development, product form development. I'm going to take simple product form development. So let's develop requirement. So develop a form using develop a form in Spring Boot web application. Develop a form in Spring Boot web application. Right now, so develop a form in Spring Boot web application which captures product ID, product name, and product price. Develop a form in Spring Boot web application which captures product ID, product name, and product price. Product ID, product name, and product price it has to capture. Now, guys, are you able to hear me? Is my voice audible? Please confirm. Develop a form in Spring Boot web application which captures product ID, product name, and product price. Product ID, product name, and product price. Now, let me give you a story for that. So here, product form development. Product form development now. So here we need to develop product ID and product name, simple, and product price. Fine. Here I will have submit button. Simple. Submit button. Now, whenever this form is submitted, I want to display response in one more page. This is product added to catalog successfully. Product added to catalog successfully. Now, here I will give one link, go back. It will give one link as a go back. Right. Now, this page I will give as index.jsp, first page. Second page I will give as success.jsp. One page I am giving as index.jsp and one page I am giving as success.jsp. Now, I need to develop a application for this. Product form development, simple, very simple. One JSP to capture the form data, one JSP to display the success message. Here in the second JSP I am giving a hyperlink to go back to the previous page, right? Just to add the one more product record. All right, let's get started. Procedure to develop form based application. Procedure to develop form based application. Right. First, create Spring Boot web application. Create Spring Boot web application with below dependencies. Now, what are the dependencies? Observe carefully. First, I need to add Spring Boot starter web. Now, second dependency. What is the second dependency that I need to add here? Second dependency is Tomcat-embed-Jasper. Spring Boot starter web is one dependency. Tomcat embed Jasper is the one dependency that I am going to add. Right. So here, if you observe, Spring Boot starter web. This one dependency, Spring Boot starter web provides support to develop web applications, REST applications using MVC. And it provides Tomcat as embedded container. So when you add that boot starter web dependency, three functionalities we are getting. One is web applications you can develop, like controller based applications. You can develop REST applications also in the MVC style. REST application also you can develop using MVC style, and it is providing Tomcat as a embedded container for you. It is providing Tomcat as a embedded container for you. Right. Now, second one. What is this Tomcat embed Jasper? Tomcat embed Jasper dependency required to render our JSP files in browser. So if you are using JSP as a presentation technology, then you need to use Tomcat embed Jasper dependency to render our JSP files on the browser. Sir, what will happen if I don't add it? What will happen if I don't add it? If you don't add that Tomcat embed Jasper when you are using JSP as a presentation technology, instead of rendering the JSP, it will download the JSP. Whenever you send a request, the JSP will be downloaded instead of rendering. So if anybody facing JSP downloading when you send a request in the browser, that means Tomcat embed Jasper dependency not available. So we have to add that dependency also. Alright. Now, and along with this, we can add DevTools. We already discussed what is the purpose of DevTools, which are used to reload the changes. Whenever you make some change in the project, right, immediately your application will be restarted with the latest changes. For that, we can add DevTools. So, purpose of DevTools. DevTools dependency is used to reload latest changes. Reload latest changes done in project. It improves development fastness, productivity. It improves developer productivity. That means time waste will not be available. Whenever you make a change, immediately your project will be restarted. So it improves developer productivity. It improves developer productivity. So these are the three dependencies that I need to add to develop my first form based application. Boot starter web, Tomcat embed Jasper, DevTools, right? What is the purpose of first dependency? Web application you can develop, REST application you can develop, embedded container also you are going to get. Then what is this Tomcat embed Jasper? Tomcat embed Jasper dependency required to render JSPs on the browser. If you don't add this dependency, whenever you send a request, your JSP will be downloaded in the browser. I don't want to download the JSP page. I want to render the JSP page. For that, this dependency, second dependency. Third dependency, DevTools. Why DevTools? To reload. Whenever a development is happening, I will test my application, I will find a bug, then I will change the code. Then I no need to stop and start the server. Immediately I want to reload it. For that we will go for DevTools. DevTools will reload the changes so that your work can be completed quickly. If you don't add the DevTools, you need to stop the server and you need to start. So a lot of time will be wasted for you. Right. Now, second step. Create controller. Create controller class using @controller annotation. Create controller class using @controller annotation with below methods. one method load form, load form, load form method to display empty form, to display empty form. Next one, handle submit, handle submit. Here I'm going to take HTTP request as a parameter and modal as a parameter. So to handle form submission, handle submission, handle form submit. This is used to handle the form submission. So two methods I am going to create in my controller. One method is used to load the empty form. Another method is used to handle form submission. So for that I am going to take handle submit as a method name. Handle submit button as the method name. Right. Now third step. Create view components. Create view components using JSP. So for these applications I'm using JSP. In future we will use TimeLeaf also as a presentation technology. After that we will use Angular also as a presentation. So three varieties of applications we are going to develop. Few applications I will develop by using JSP. Few applications I will develop by using TimeLeaf. Few applications we will develop by using Angular, so that you will get the clarity how web applications will be developed with the different presentation technologies. So as I told you, one mini project I will explain with the Angular integration also. Right. Now here, how many view components are required for us? Two view components are required. One is index.jsp to add product to catalog. Right. Second one, success.jsp to display success message. To display success message, we are creating a success.jsp page. So this is the second step that we are going to perform. The third step we are going to perform. Second step, creating a controller with the required methods. Third step is creating the presentation components. I hope all of you able to follow me. Right. Now fourth step. Write configuration properties. Write configuration properties in application.yml file. Write configuration properties in application.yml file. What are those things? First one, server.port. To change that, next one, view resolver configuration. View resolver configuration. So default port number 8080. In order to change, I will write one property. Then view resolver configuration also we need to do in the YML file. After that, run boot application and test it. Run our boot application and test that application. So these are the steps that we need to follow to develop the given requirement. So the requirement is product form development. My form should look like this. Simple. Index.jsp will contain the three fields. Once you submit, you need to capture that form data and you need to display success message saying that product added to catalog successfully in a different page. In future, in the second application, I will display success message also in the same page. The second application will display success message also in the same page. Right. So step by step we are going to learn. Everything is not in the single class. So step by step gradually we will increase the complexity in the forms. All right. All of you clear with the steps I have provided here? Requirement and the procedure to develop this form based application. Read these steps once again, guys. Please go through the steps once. Then we'll convert these steps into application in the IDE. Read it carefully. Don't butify. Understand why dependencies we are adding. What is the purpose of the dependency? Also, you should know. Second step, controller class and what are the methods required in that. And presentation components. Configuration properties. Then finally, running the application and test it. Is it clear for all of you? Confirm? Anybody having any questions on this? Please type in the chat box. Clear. Good. Now, let us create this project. I'm using Spring Toolsuite IDE here. File, new, Spring Starter project. Yeah, we are filling the details here. This application I'm creating as Spring Boot form application. Spring Boot first form application. This is our first form based application we are creating by using Spring Boot. Spring Boot first form app. Right. Now, packaging type var only I'm keeping. Language is Java. Build tool is Maven. Java version is 8. Click on next. Yes. Here we can select the dependencies. So I'm selecting dependency as a Spring Web. We need one more dependency, right? That is Tomcat embed Jasper. That we don't get here. You can type here embed. That is not listing here. That is not listing here. We need to take that from mvnrepository.com. So we need to copy that from mvnrepository.com. So click on next. Only I selected one dependency which is web. We need one more dependency also. Application is created. Let's wait created so that we can start our component. We will add Jasper in the pom.xml file. In the previous applications we have already added that. So dependency we will add to current project. Right. Let's open this project pom.xml file. So it is slowly it's taking time to load. Yeah. So this is the pom.xml file. Once again, I'm trying to maximize this window. And my ID also getting tight for this batch. Morning from 6 o'clock it is running. Think it is getting tired. It is responding very slow. It is hanging. There is something wrong with you guys. That's why it is not working. I think you people are not practicing daily. That's why this ID is also not responding. See here. Yeah. Let's add one dependency for Tomcat embed Jasper. So what is the group ID for that? Do you remember? What is the group ID for Tomcat embed Jasper? org.tomcat.embed. org.tomcat.embed. Right. What is the artifact ID for that? Tomcat-embed-jasper. We can search that in the MVN repository also. We already added for our previous project, so I'm adding directly. Tomcat-embed-jasper. Tomcat-embed-jasper is the artifact ID. Not equals, it is hyphen. Tomcat embed Jasper is added to form.xml file. Now let us create our controller class with required methods, right? So here if you see our form has to be displayed and form has to be submitted. So we need two methods in the controller. One method is used to load the form, another method is used to handle the form submission. So Tomcat embed Jasper org.tomcat.embed. Something wrong in the dependency, check it once. In the previous project we have added that form.xml, but if on core org.apache.tomcat.embed, sorry, we missed group ID, that's why it is failing. So org.apache.tomcat.embed. Let's save this form.xml. Yeah, fine, now it is corrected. So group ID, artifact ID we added for this Tomcat embed Jasper. Now let us create our controller class. So go to our src main Java folder in the 14th project. Yeah, I'm trying to create a controller. So observe current project structure. src main Java, we have a base package. In this we have a start class and initializer class. And I'm creating a controller in a new package. Right click on the base package, new class. Now I'm creating the class with a name called product controller. At the time of creating the class only, I will give you a new package. So I'm giving the package name as com.ashokit.controller and class name I am giving as product controller. Class name I am giving as product controller. Click on finish. Now in the new package, our is created. Now we need to represent this class as a controller. For that we have a stereotype annotation at controller. Now I am representing this as a Spring controller by using @controller annotation. Now inside that we will the methods to deal with the form. Now import the package. Next, public string load form. This method is only to display the form. Right. Return index. In the index page, I will write the form. Right. This method I am binding to get mapping. For that, we can give multiple URL patterns also. One method can bind to multiple URL patterns also. Here I am giving two URL patterns. One I am giving as a slash, another one I am giving as load form. Slash and slash load form, these are the two URL patterns I am giving for this. One method can be binded to more than one URL pattern. One second. This curly brace should come after the double quote. This is array type, right? We should not add this. Fine. So with this table method, which is responsible to load the form. Now I am writing one more method which is used to handle form submission, that is handle submit button. To capture the form data, I am using HTTP servlet request. For currently I am using HTTP servlet request, sir. Later I will tell you how can we avoid this. HTTP servlet request comma model. So directly we no need to take the servlet request object. We can capture the form data in the form of binding object. That also we'll discuss. First let me show you how we will deal with HTTP servlet request object in the Spring MVC. Now here I am taking model also as a parameter. Now so this method is used to handle form submission. So to handle the form submit we need to take care of in this method. That means every form generally will submit with a HTTP post request. So I will bind this method to HTTP post request. How can we bind a method to post request? By using post mapping. Value, here I am going to write it as a save product. Save product is the URL pattern that I am writing for this method. So this method is binded to post request. Why post request? Because form submissions we will do in the post request so that our data will be secured. Right. Let's import the post mapping annotation. Import statement is added for this. This method also should return some logical view name. I am going to return the logical view name as success. Let's observe. Return success. Now here in this method we will write the logic whether really form data we are able to capture or not, and we will store the data to some persistent store. So that part we will do later point of time. Logic to save form data. That logic we need to write. So before that I just want to capture my form data. First let me load the form, then I will complete the logic to load the form data. All of you clear with this? First forget about the second method, first concentrate on the first method. First we want to display the form, then we will think about how to submit the form. So these two methods I need in the controller. All of you clear with these two methods? Second method is not yet completed. We will complete that in another 5 to 10 minutes of time. First method is completed, which is responsible to load the form. All of you clear with that? Any questions please post in the chat box. Good, let's continue. Right. Now let me create view file. Now observe carefully. I am going for src main web app. In this web app we will create our view files. Now let me create one folder for the views. New folder as views. Inside this I will create an index file which is used to display the product form for us. New file, new other JSP file I am going to create. I'm selecting for JSP. Next. Index. I'm giving the file name as index. You can give me of the method. Yes. Let us develop a form in this JSP. Save product details. I'm displaying a heading. Yes, let us build one form, normal HTML form. Guys, please remember, I am not using form tag library. In the second application I will use the form tag library. Form action, then method attribute, HTML, normal HTML form. So I'm going to take one table, inside the table, table row, inside the row, table data for label, and this is for field. Right, how many rows we need? Two rows. One is for ID, one is for name, one is for price, one is for button. So now I created a template. 4 rows we need with 2 columns. Right, currently action attribute I'm giving empty, slash I'm giving, so it is not, form will not be submitted. Then method I'm going to give as post. So I want to send http post request form, so that form data will go in the request body. If I don't write the method post, by default will be get request, form data will go in the URL. Right, now let me develop the fields here. First one is product ID, that is a text field. Input type is equal to text, name is equal to PID. You can give any name. Now, similarly here product name as a second label. This is also text field, so we are going to give input type is equal to text field only, name is equal to tname. Now similarly product price, now here I will write input type is equal to text, input type is equal to text, name is equal to price, name is equal to price. Now here I can give submit button and reset buttons. Now input type is equal to reset, value is equal to reset. Now next one, input type is equal to submit, value is equal to submit or store, whatever you want. So this is our index.jsp file we created. First we will check whether we are able to load this form or not. If the form is loaded as expected, then we will see how to handle this form submission part. Good. Now next, before going to run this application, let me do configuration properties in the proper YML. Let me convert these properties to YML. Right click, then convert to YML. You can use properties also, no problem. Yeah, it is converted to YML file, application.yml. In this I will add port number and I will add few resolver configuration. For port number server.port, I will give 802. Then view resolver configuration, that is spring dot where your view files are available. Now enter slash views. Now then I will give suffix as .jsp. So with this I configured port number and I configured view resolver. If you observe, I did not give any context path, so no need to configure, no need to use the context path in the URL. Now let me run this boot application. Right click on the project, run as boot app, run as boot app. Once this application is started, we need to access this project, right? Now what is the URL to load the form? URL, that is http colon localhost. It is running in the same system, so localhost 8081 is the port number. That's it, because there is no context path. Sir, do I need to specify load form as the resource URI? No need, because that method is binded to two URL patterns. Either you can specify or you can ignore. If you send the request to this URL, then our first controller method will be called, which is binded to this. Now application started. Check the console. Spring Boot web application started with a port number 8082. So I configured 8082 as a port number. So let me change to this. Now let's take this URL and go to browser and send a request. Go to browser, new tab. Yeah. Localhost colon 8082. Context path is not there. Yes. We are able to load the form as expected. Our form is getting loaded as expected. Product ID, product name, product price. Now form will not be submitted. So error page. So form is not going to submit. There is a problem if we submit the form. I need to handle this. I need to handle this scenario. Right? For this, we need to add action URL. Whenever this form is getting submitted, I want to give form action URL as save product. Action is equal to save product. What is the save product? There is a request handler method binded to this URL pattern. There is a request handler method binded to this URL pattern. Now what I need to do? I need to capture form data. How to capture the form data? By using request, HTTP servlet request dot get parameter. This is the legacy approach. So this is generally we don't use this in Spring MVC. But legacy approach, I'm telling you, what is the complexity if we don't follow Spring MVC form tag library? Request dot get parameter of PID. It is going to give you product ID. In which format? String format. But actually we are entering a number. That is one problem here. Now request dot get parameter of P name, which is going to return product name. Similarly, request dot get parameter of price. Price will be a double value, but here we will get it as a string. So whenever you send some data over a network, that will be transferred in the form of string only. This is one problem. This is resolved by our Spring MVC form tag library. We'll see how it will be resolved. Are you clear with this? This is how you will capture form data in the servlets using HTTP servlet request. In the same way I am capturing the data by using HTTP servlet request in the Spring controller. But we can do in the better way also. That we'll talk about it. This is the legacy approach. Right. So let me print it really. Are we getting this data or not? Really, are we able to capture this form data or not? I'm printing this data on the console. System.out.println. In future we will use the loggers for that. Product name. For that we will use P name. And system.out.println product price. I'm not printing as a response. I'm just printing on the console. Product price. Now after this I will add the data in the model. Model dot add attribute. So we already discussed what is the purpose of this model and what is the purpose of add attribute. This is used to send the data to the view. From the controller, I want to send the data to the controller. Product saved to catalog successfully. This is the response message I am sending from my controller method. Product saved to catalog successfully. Where that message I will access? I will access that message in the success view. Here success is the logical view name. In this I am going to access that model data based on the key. My key is MSG. So by using expression language, I will access that key. Got it? Guys, remember, this logic we are going to avoid in the next example. We don't need to write like this to capture form data. This is not recommended in the Spring. I want to tell you the problem in the legacy approach so that you can enjoy the benefit of the Spring MVC. Now I need to create one more view which is used to display success message. That is success.jsp. New JSP file. New other JSP file I'm going to create. Success.jsp. Finish. Yeah, I will print that message by using $MSG. Right. After printing that message, I want to go back. For that, I will give one hyperlink. I will give one hyperlink as a go back. What is the URL? Load form. Load form is the method I am giving. So if you see our requirement diagram, so once you click on the submit button, message will be displayed in the another page where you can click on the go back, you will come back to the previous page. For that I am giving a hyperlink here. I am giving a hyperlink. So I hope you understand how I have written this second method to handle the form submission and what is the purpose of this success JSP. So observe one thing carefully. This second method is binded to post request and it is taking HTTP servlet request as a parameter, first parameter, model as a second parameter. First parameter is used to capture the data from the form using request.getParameter method, and second parameter is the model which is used to send the data from controller to UI. Yes. Now let us test our application. As we have DevTools, I think our changes are reloaded. Let us verify by reloading this form. Not reloaded. Let me stop and start. Right click, run as, boot app. Server is getting started. Yes. '8082 context path is empty. No. Yes. Reloaded. Form is reloaded. Now enter some details. 101. Name is some television. Product price is some 15,000. Right. Now let me clear the console to see form data is printing or not. My console is empty. Click on submit. Product saved to catalog successfully and go back. Right. Now see, whatever the data that I entered in the form, we are able to capture that data in our Spring MVC controller by using HTTP servlet request. Right. Now click on this hyperlink, go back. We are able to come back to our previous form. Now let me enter 102. Mobile price is some 10,000. Click on submit. Product saved to catalog successfully, go back. Now go to the console. Yes, mobile data also we are able to capture. Fine. With this we are able to complete our requirement. We are able to develop the form. We are able to capture the data from the form. But what is the problem in this application? The problem is capturing each and every field manually by using request.getParameter. If our form contains 30 fields like this, 30 lines of code I need to write. That is one problem. What is the second problem? ID is a number, price is a double, but still I'm getting them as a strings. That is the second problem. So these problems can be avoided by using our Spring MVC form tag library. Spring MVC supporting for form binding object. So when you use Spring MVC form binding object concept, you no need to write this piece of code to capture form data, and you no need to write the logic to typecast the data. Are you getting my point? So we are able to complete our requirement, but still there is a boilerplate code. We are writing the logic to capture the form data manually. That can be automated by using form binding object in the Spring MVC. So two problems are there. Manually we are capturing the data. Every field data is coming as a string format. These two problems we can solve by using Spring MVC form binding object concept. So how to work with form binding object in the Spring MVC we will discuss in the tomorrow session. So thank you.